why my YouTube live isn't working, but I think it's coming on. So give me 1 second. I hope all of you guys are doing okay. The traveling for me took forever, but I am home and it's fantastic. I'm enjoying life. How's everybody doing today? Let's get this party started. I haven't missed much. It's been extreme bull days, one day after the other, right? So I feel kind of at ease. I haven't missed much. We will see. If you guys have any tickers that you want to specifically look at, let me know and I will do so. But I just wanted to go over the broader market just in general. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Okay. And all of us here know that I'm a big RSI trader, especially on larger timeframes. I really rely a lot on it. And I like to look at it just to kind of eyeball and see how high we can still go or not go, or how low we can go or not go. So the last time we were this high was somewhere around here. Now, again, this is just a perspective. So it's not like, oh, just because the RSI is so high, we're going lower. No, that isn't it. But we've had some extremely bullish days and weeks. So I am looking forward to some sort of a pullback, possibly this week or next. But the RSI on the daily is kind of sort of high. Now, the last time it was super high was here and I was looking at it. All of you guys, if you have attended futures classes with me, then you remember me saying, I like high RSI, but I like divergence with high RSI even better. So this is a El Primo example of that. I love this divergence with this high RSI. So if something like that could happen here, that would be wonderful. So if we could have another push up and then we could get some sort of a pullback with a divergence, that would be phenomenal. So I'm really hoping for something like that to happen. Will it happen soon? I don't know. Am I buying puts? Am I in a lot of puts? No, not really. I'm waiting for that pullback. And even if I do, I got stopped out of my puts. Well, they were just, a terrible location, but it meant, it could have. It was at the 100 or 200 weekly SMA. So it was done the right way, but it just didn't quite work out. We did have this run up. So anyway, I'm looking to get into puts, but I need some sort of an indication that we are surely pulling back, aka divergence or some sort of a strong pullback. So that's what I'm waiting for. We are gapping down today. Let's look at this guy. So this is a retest gap. Friday's candle was on SPY was an inside candle. So we'll go look at SPY also. But inside candles are big consolidation candles, right? And so I really, really, really like those. And the fact that we're gapping down today is kind of interesting. We'll see what happens on the Qs. It is a retest gap. So what we're going to do is wait for that gap fill area. I'm just going to put one line here and that will be our gap fill area. So there we go. Okay, cool. So, if we open somewhere around here, I will be looking for a pullback. If we open quite a bit lower, I will be looking for a push up and then a pullback. That's just what the plan is so far. So yeah, and then let's go look at PayPal, Mara, and SPCE. Okay, let's go look at SPY real quick, and then we'll go look at the other tickers also. There we go. So SPY is an inside candle. Are these tweezer tops? Let me make sure. No, they're not. But it is an inside candle. It's quite interesting. SPY is also getting a little bit outrageous over there. Let me see if there is divergence on a smaller time frame. No, not really. Okay, but it's getting a little bit out of control right now on the daily RSI. Again, it has not paid out very well when I've gone against the trend. So what I'll do is just waste the day not taking any trades rather than going short on an extremely bullish day. So I'd much rather just sit tight and not take a trade than to go overboard with puts or shorts. So let's go look at, so SPY is an inside candle also. I like this gap down a lot. Let's kind of fill this gap and then see if we can roll over. That would be really nice. I think today could get we could get a really fun pullback today if it just plays along and if it behaves. All right, we had PayPal on the list, so let's look at PayPal holdings. Check it out. Ooh, I like this. This is a pretty decent inverse head and shoulders. I like where this is headed, really. I love that we're gapping up above this high wave candle. I think honestly, PayPal is headed to fill this gap. This is a lot of accumulation, sideways action. I like where this is going. The gap is kind of interesting. This is also nice. We're gapping above the weekly 10 EMA, which is really, really nice. That could have been an area of rejection, but it's not getting rejected. I think today for a day trade, 71, it would be a good target, or just somewhere around here, 70, 62 would be a good target. So something like this is what I would be looking for on PayPal. Hold on. And I'll just leave these numbers on and see if we can take a trade on it. See if we can get a trade on it. Just a second. Something like this. I don't think we need to have our stop this tight, but our target definitely has to go up here at 70. So something like this could work. The stop needs to go a little bit higher. But yeah, this is what I would be looking for on PayPal today. I like the gap up. Now, one thing for sure, though, I need PayPal to hold this area for me. If it's not going to hold this area and start pumping down a little bit more, then I'm not interested for a day trade, guys. I'm really not planning this for a swing trade at all. But I feel like if it doesn't hold this area, then it's going to come back, retest this neckline again, you know, and then go higher for a swing trade purpose. But for a day trade, if it holds this high wave high and wants to go higher, like if it double bottoms here, this would be a wonderful place to go long for 70, 60, 70, 70 as a good target. So let's keep an eye out for PayPal. I will put that on the list and scoot it up. If the markets want to go higher, I will scoot it up and take a bull trade. But I think even without the bull trade, even without the markets, I feel like PayPal could get going today. So I'll scoot it up a little bit. Okay, cool deal. All right. Another ticker was SPCE, Mara, and AMD. Let's go. Virgin Galactic. Ooh. This is, I think I was following news. I know this is a news candle, but they got permission to fly. I think that's what it was. But I mean, for today, I feel like for a day trade, we could expect a fade a little bit and then maybe a pullback. But I do think today, I mean, this is such a ginormous high wave candle. We got to give it a day or two to relax a little bit. Unless we have some more news coming out, I don't know. But we got to give it a little bit to relax and then see which way it wants to go. I feel like if we take out this high wave within, I want to say maybe 2 weeks or so, it could get going. But if we just hover around here for a little bit longer, I think we're going to consolidate for a little bit longer. So this is not a trade that excites me. This is not something that I'd be like, oh, I really want to take this today. So I'd watch out for this. I'd keep an eye out for this. If I want to play this, I would prefer to play this in the bullish direction and then look for a rejection somewhere around the 618 off this candle. And so something like this is what I would do. Is what I would hope it does. But this is the day trading aspect that I want to catch. I don't want to wait for this to happen, right? So this is the area that I want to catch going bullish. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't really count too much on anything else. Let's go look at AMD. It's been a while since AMD has been, well, actually, no, we traded that with my mentorship group the other day, but okay, cool. So AMD is at a really interesting spot. I think all of us can agree, right? I mean, this is a pretty decent, it could be A, consolidation, or B, pretty nasty double top headed straight down to this gap fill area, right? And especially if this turns into an island reversal. Oh, that would be devastating for AMD. I don't think that's the case though. I think the chip sector obviously is in pretty high demand. What I'm going to watch out for today is whether we hold this 20 EMA. This is the 20 EMA. The red line, guys, is a 20 EMA on my chart. And I want to see if we hold that area today. So when we were trading this, I think it was on Thursday, when I was trading that, the only thing I was watching out for was it holding the 10 EMA, and it was not. I mean, the 10 EMA was a little bit higher, but it wasn't holding it, and it kept dropping. It kept dropping. So I think today that's the only thing I'd be watching for. Retest gap, gap fills, and see if we can get a rollover. I would recommend setting the targets not lower than 116.30 or 116.40, but we'll see. I mean, if we can catch a dip, that would be awesome in this. We just have to wait for a perfect setup. I think AMD just collapses right at open, right? So as soon as it opens, it just goes boop down to target and then doesn't really give us too many chances. That's what happened on Thursday too, but then we found a pretty decent trade on it. Yeah, so like the first few candles, see, this is what I mean. Like it just collapses and then it doesn't really give you too many chances to come back into it. So I do think AMD is just going to collapse, go straight to target. And if it goes straight to target, I mean, in my opinion, I think this is bearish. So for a day trade. So I don't want to really take a bull trade in this either, unless we're gapping up about that big red candle, which isn't the case. So I would be keeping an eye out for AMD on the bear side. I will add AMD to the list too. Ron says it has a huge short float. AMD does? What's its short float? Really? It's kind of hard to, well, it's hard to believe because AMD has been so popular lately. Okay, let's go look at Tesla real quick and then Mara. We will check that out. Tessie. What a big monster this thing's been. Oh, like a lot of things, this is pretty high, but high RSI on Tesla doesn't really mean much. It can go on and it can continue on for quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is see if I can, I mean, this is a gap fill area, isn't it? Yeah, it is. All right. So what I'm going to do is see if we can get a pullback. I'm only willing to trade Tesla in the bearish direction for a day trade specifically, if it sets up. So usually what Tesla does is just goes up a couple of points and then just hovers around and then makes another move and then pulls back. So that pullback is what I'm looking for. So for a day trade, it just goes up, hovers around, makes another move up, hovers around, and then pulls back. So this is the pullback that I'm looking for on Tesla, unless it gives me a 10 EMA. You know, it gives me a setup right at open. I think then I'd be interested, but otherwise I'm kind of hesitant to short Tesla right at open. So what we'll do is, I think the pre-market strategy would work really, really well. What we'll do is put two lines here, one over here and the other one at the low. It doesn't have to be precise. You don't have to have it by the exact penny. But these two lines will just kind of guide me into which direction we're headed. So, you know, if at open we take out this area, the pre-market high, and continue higher. So if at open we just do boop, then come back down and then continue higher, then obviously it's bullish. Then I will stop messing with it. But if at open it comes back, retests this area and keeps getting rejected or has a double top here around this area, pre-market high, then I will be looking to short it down to the pre-market low. I don't know which direction Tesla is going to go in. The charts, the daily chart doesn't really tell me much. Besides the high RSI, I don't really have too much indication of which direction it's going. You know, this volume was pretty decent. Tesla is a little bit extended though. I mean, I wouldn't be buying long-term Tesla here today. I need a little bit of a pullback, at least down to 200s. Again, I don't know what the news is on Tesla, and I don't know if there is any news. But I will definitely be looking out for this guy for sure. SPCE. Oh, SPCE has a huge short float. Okay, cool. Got it. I was like, AMD, I don't know who's shorting AMD. Yeah, cool. I believe that. I mean, didn't they say that they weren't allowed to fly anymore or they were going bankrupt, and then suddenly some other news came out. So yeah, Mara. Ooh, this is interesting, you guys. Whoever mentioned this is pretty interesting. This is a lot of consolidation. This to me looks like a wave 4, possibly going into a wave 5 with a target of 13. This would have to be a swing trade, but for a day trade, I would not trade this bearish. Bullish is the direction to go. It is gapping into resistance, but I feel like this is screaming for a move higher. I mean, look at this volume increasing, right? Like the green volume's definitely there. The buyers are definitely there. So yeah, I kind of like this for a bull move up. I'm going to add Mara to my list. So today I will be strictly looking at Mara, the Qs, and what other ticker did we add? PayPal. So Tesla for a bear trade, and AMD for a bear trade, PayPal and Mara for a bull trade. I think that's what's going to kind of sort of organize and we don't float around in too many different spots. Okay, cool deal. I'll add Mara too. So we have 2 in bull baskets, 2 in bear baskets, and we'll see which way it wants to go. I like this. I love this consolidation. Let's see what the weekly looks like. Oh yeah. Yeah, guys, tell me this isn't screaming to come up till here. I really like this chart, the way it's looking right now. And it doesn't really have to go that far. This just could be a day trade. Somebody said this has a huge short float also. Okay, cool deal. That's even better. That's perfection. That's perfect. Okay. For my futures traders, I want to show you guys something on the hourly chart. So this is precisely how I like to trade things. I like to go look at the hourly chart, see where we are at, and see which way it wants to head for futures, right? You know, earlier when I was looking at this, I actually attempted a short and it didn't work out well. So I just kind of left it alone. Well, I got stopped out. By that, I mean, it got stopped out. But I was hoping this S curve kind of went down and used this 10 EMA as resistance, but this drop is completely unvalidated by this move up right now. So I'd be a little bit skeptical for the Qs to just drop right away. I feel like it needs to hover around a little bit on the hourly chart, needs to just hover around, not really make majestic moves up, and then the bears will step in. Because this is a pretty, you know, when you're expecting a retest of this red candle, this is a pretty huge retest. I mean, we essentially took out that big bear candle. Right. So it tells me that the bulls are really, really strong. Again, this is all pre-market action, so I really can't rely on it too much. But the charts don't lie. I mean, if the bulls were weak, we would have rolled over. And that's not the case. So today, what I want to do is see if we can pull back down to this area. Let me draw lines here real quick. See if we can pull back down to this support area, somewhat over here. I would say 15,200. Let's just make it a whole number, right? So 15,200, 40 points down and hold this area, not go below it, hold this area, and then go higher. Now, these are hourly candles, guys. So obviously it's going to be, you know, a bit, but it's going to be a while. But if this can come down here, hover around for a little bit, then go higher, then I'd be bullish, because then it would be like this inverse head and shoulders. Otherwise, I don't know. I would really not like it to hold this level for all of our bear trades. But if it does, I am not opposed to trading it bullish. I've learned this a very hard way, that I miss out on a lot of bull trades. I mean, I know on days when it's going to take off and not to trade it bearish. Or I'll lose, you know, I'll risk I won't risk as much. So today is a day like that in the bullish direction. So if I'm trading it bullish, I'm going to not risk as much, maybe play it with MNQ versus NQ, but I would, you know, I'd risk a little bit lesser on the long trades and maybe a good decent size on the short trades. We need a pullback. I really, really am looking forward to a pullback. Now, is that pullback a big one or a small one? I don't know. Nobody can tell. But I think that one pullback bear day would be a lot of fun. So that's what I'm watching out for. The hourly looks great, actually, to see if we can bounce and then go higher. So yeah, if we don't bounce, by the way, and don't go higher, then this is the area I'd be looking to short it. down to probably down to here maybe, or kind of maybe a little bit lower. I would say down to here. I think we could pull back to here. So we'll see. Good morning, Rock. Good morning, Deepak. Jay Linder says Mara is 39.9% short. Ooh, okay. So then I would think it's just going to take off, right? Like right at open. It's not really going to wait for us. What I want to do is I want to set up a long, see if it comes back and fills us. Let me check the hourly real quick. I mean, it's up there. All right, let's not rush into it. 4 hour looks decent. No, let's not do this pre-market. I will wait for the markets to open and then see if it puts in a bear candle, trap some bears, and then go higher. So I'd be looking for one bear candle and then a long above that. If somebody here could keep an eye out for that one bear candle, in case I'm distracted. This is a ticker I'd be interested in trading long if it wants to go long. All right, let's go check out our usual suspects. Meta has had an interesting day. I was looking to short this on Friday, and it just sincerely, seriously, guys, this is just based on this divergence play, right? I mean, I feel like it could pull back a little bit. We're kind of extended in the bullish direction right now. So this is another ticker that I'm really interested in seeing if we can pull back. So this is a retest gap, see if we can come back, gap fill this area and then roll over. I would be watching out for, missed that an alert here, 280. Crossing it up. Okay, so I'm going to set an alert here and see if it can come up to here. I mean, it's not really that far, but if it can come up to here, this is the area I'd be looking to short it for sure. There is that daily divergence. This is looking good. Yeah, for a day trade, at least it is. We'll see if the rest of the market wants to cooperate with us. I'll remove Bud from the list. Google, my friends, had an interesting setup also. So this is, of course, you know, this is going to be a swing trade setup rather than a day trading setup, but I like a short below here on Googster. I mean, it's pretty weak, and I know there was some news about Google recently. So yeah, this is pretty decent bear volume. Again, long above this candle for sure, but short below this 10 EMA play. This is one 10 EMA play I would take on Google for swing trade. So yeah, down to gap fill. This is where my target would be. That's what I'm looking for on Google. I'm not really filled yet, but I have an alert there. So I am watching out for it. Appy, a very strong day. Very strong trend on Apple. It is gapping down a little bit, but it's, you know, it's not really gapping down. It's just a low. So we'll see which way Apple wants to head. Of course, whichever way Apple decides to go, the rest of the markets will. But Apple's also kind of out there, right? I mean, I think everybody would agree. What does the weekly look like on Apple? And then let me put some SMAs there. You know, I hate bringing my bear party to an extremely bullish environment, but we got to think of it from pullback perspective. Now, does that mean you miss out on some trades? Yes, you do. That means you miss out on majority of the trades, a lot of trades, and a lot of bullish trades. But if I'm looking for that one bear trade that's awesome sauce, that's going to make me a lot of money, then that's, I mean, you know, a couple of hours, then that's the trade that I'm looking for. So yeah, I'm not ultra negative, but I just feel like everything kind of sort of deserves that pullback to see where we go from there. So if the RSIs, now guys, there are only two ways RSIs get adjusted, right? I mean, I think everybody here knows. But number one is if we drop down, the RSI gets adjusted. Number two is if we go sideways, up, down, sideways, up, down, sideways, then the RSI gets adjusted. That's it, two ways only. So it's gonna either go sideways for a while, or it's going to drop. And this is in my opinion, the best way of seeing RSIs adjust. So I think one of the two things is going to happen, and we'll have opportunities to play it in either direction. But today, I think I'm looking for a pullback rather than bullish moves. All right, Square. Ooh, Square has a big. What this is a gap and go. It's not really, but a gap and go on a high wave. A doji. I don't really like those too much. However, this is a pretty cute gap. Now, the only thing I'm worried about on Square is no, weekly looks good too. Could pull back. All right, cool. Yeah, this looks good for a pullback too, actually. The only thing I'm worried about is whether it's going to hold this 10 EMA or not. That's a pretty big, well, no, not really. We'll come back to Square. Let's go look at Shopify. Same old, not really gapping down too much. So we're okay here too. Just nothing that excites me here, so we'll just leave it alone. Netflix. Ooh. This is one ticker that moves. I mean, it's a pretty crazy ticker. It moves quite a bit, right? This is one bear candle that took out 3 days of bullish momentum. What does that tell you? If anything, what does that tell you? That tells me that there's a lot more weakness. If anything, all these people that bought here are going to look for that exit. So I'd be looking for a bear trade on Netflix and not really a bull trade today. Even if the markets want to go higher, even if the broader markets want to go higher, I'd be looking for this gap fill at some point on Netflix today. Gerline says, good morning. Good morning. How's it going? I miss you guys. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in forever. We had a cyclone and I lost electricity. I don't know what, I don't know what that feels like. Like I haven't been in that environment ever. And this is completely unpredictable. So that was an interesting experience for sure. We didn't have electricity for about 2 days. You start to feel anxiety when your battery pack is dying and your phone is at 20%. That's when true anxiety sets in. Okay, cool. NVIDIA, the boss bull move ticker is also looking for a pullback. I mean, this is a pretty bizarre move up, if you ask me. It's not bizarre, but it's pretty interesting. You know, it's been fly bullish lately. So I am looking for a pullback. Again, if I am looking for a bullish move, I'm not going to go approach Google that has weakness or Meta that has weakness on the daily. I'm going to go approach NVIDIA that has strength on the daily, right? But there is this divergence that's been bugging me on NVIDIA on the daily right here. So I'm kind of watching for that pullback, at least down to the 10 EMA. I mean, that's still 26 points. Today, what I'd be looking for is something like this, like a breakdown of yesterday's low, and then come down all the way to here. So that's what a day trade would comprise of if that happens, if that range occurs. We'll see. We shall see. Amazon. Let's go look at Amazon. Amazon's also, I mean, this is looking interesting too. If it closes below this high wave and this hammer candle, then I think it's going to come back down a little bit, you guys, at least down to the 20 EMA. That could be a decent pullback. It doesn't have to go super bullish, but do you guys, I mean, there is that divergence also on Amazon. I see divergences everywhere right now. So it might be a good thing to maybe load up on some puts on the broader market, see if we can, I mean, it's dropping. The broader market's dropping right now. See if we can get there. All righty, guys, it is time for me to say goodbye to y'all, YouTube world, but give us a like, a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so, and I will see you guys next Tuesday. Bye-bye.